China is taking steps to ensure that grain output in the world's most populous country will remain stable as it deals with a global economic slowdown. And Chinese Premier Wen Jiabao presided over a State Council meeting on Wednesday that adopted a plan to help boost grain output. And the State Council says that ensuring grain security for the country's 1.3 billion people will play a fundamental role in boosting consumption and tackling the financial crisis. And it also says efforts should be made to increase grain output, including promoting key technologies and enhancing agricultural mechanization. And the State Council also says local governments should ramp up spending on grain security and encourage financial institutions, agricultural enterprises and farmers to increase input. And the plan sets the annual grain output capacity at more than 550 million tons for 2020, and that's an increase of 50 million tons over the coming 12 years to guarantee grain security. Well, the decision to raise grain output comes while the world is trying to cope with the economic downturn. And for more on that, joining us now is Professor Wen Tiejun from the School of Agricultural Economics and Rural Development of Renmin University of China. Welcome to our studio, Professor Wen. Well, the decision to raise the grain output, as what we understand, is not just about food security but also economic stability. And what do you think, Professor Wen, that this decision means to Chinese people besides having enough to eat?
Let's go back to last year's situation. We may know that last year the food price increment played a very important role to the whole CPI increment. So last year, 80% of the CPI increment come from or caused by the food price increment, and also more than 50% of the food price increment caused by the international market. So, and if you go forward, you can know that by this hot money invest into the wholesale market and the future markets. So not only the food, but also the oil and other mine products all have very rapidly increment of the price. So the international market very much influence the domestic market. I mean, by that, the economic crisis taking place, it's make China to aware that we must strengthen the position of the green production. And then when we can strengthen the domestic food production, we may stabilize the CPI and then to prevent China from the international markets, especially from the international crisis. That is the first reason. I think it's a very important, it's a critical issue now.
Right. Well, the growing population and improved living standards in China have pushed up the demand. So what kind of challenges do we now face in grain security?
That is a very long-term problem. We may know another figure I got to mention. And nowadays, the total amount of the agricultural products input can be calculated into the arable land for more than 10% of the total arable land in China. So we have input a lot of agricultural products, including cotton, corn, and soybean, and sugar, and some others. So it means that we need to have a long-term plan, the project, to stabilize the agricultural production, not only for nowadays people's needs, but also for long term, for maybe 2020, we need how much. So we calculate that, compare with other developed country and industrialized country, every people, I mean, per capita, need at least 400 kilo grain. I mean, including of every different products. 400 kilo is that need you not only to invest into the infrastructure, but also need to protect. You need to protect your arable land, and to stimulate the farmers to invest into the grain production. So we need a kind of comprehensive policies to ensure the grain output. So that is a long-term policies.
Right, indeed. It's a long-term policy for this to deal with the challenges, but we still have hope that this decision to raise the grain output will work in the short term to save the economy, to maintain the economy stability, because after all, China's stability is important to the whole world in riding out the financial crisis. Thank you very much, Professor Wen Tiejun from Renmin University of China.